No rush here for LA. Leonard, 7 to shoot. Kawhi makes his move. Oh, wow!
Actually, watching him in the game, some people were put on this earth just to play basketball. You watch him move, you watch his movement. That is a basketball player. The game just so easy for him. It don't matter if it's mid-range, from 3. It's cash, bro. It's money. And I don't know, I think it just put everybody around at ease too, like knowing
who would scare you on the court. A phenomenal player, an intimidating look, or an aggressive physical game. For the Claw, it's not just a statistic, it's a presence. Known for his huge 11-25-inch hands that grip the ball with unwavering control, he possesses a style that is both ruthless and silent, combining defensive strength with offensive precision. Every movement Kawhi makes on the court feels almost mechanical, like a silent storm. Whether he's blocking a shot or gliding to the basket without a sound, every part of his game screams control.
Due to his hate for knee pads and attending practices, his love for the sport would slowly fade. It wasn't until his sophomore year in high school that he finally decided to quit playing football for good.
It's no accident when he steps onto the court. It's calculated, cool, and deadly. It is more than a skill, it's a quiet, unstoppable focus that makes him one of the NBA's deadliest two-way players. So how did this quiet phenom become the league's latest two-way killer? The answer is as compelling as his game. Kawhi was born on June 29, 1991, was not an ordinary kid. Kawhi Leonard's story is one woven with both silence and resilience. Born in Los Angeles and raised in a hardworking family, Kawhi's life took a tragic turn when his father, Mark Leonard, was killed while working at a car wash. This unimaginable loss has left a mark on Kawhi, turning him into a man of few words, but a big focus. Quietly, he channeled the pain into a relentless drive, suing to express what words couldn't. In every game, Kawhi's indomitable spirit points to a story of resilience and remembrance, his father's legacy, and the quiet strength he wears like armor. Long before the Claw made waves in the NBA, a young, determined player was tearing up high school courts in California, stunning opponents. Beginning his journey at Canyon Springs, he quickly stood out, but his transfer to Martin Luther King Jr. took things up a notch. With his leadership, the Wolves were unstoppable, boasting a jaw-dropping 33 record. While the numbers were impressive, 22 points, 13 boards per game, his play was about more than stats. Every steal, every block felt like it was carved out of instinct, and that's exactly where his aggressive play style was born. By graduation, he wasn't just another standout. Kawhi was California's Mr. Basketball, etching his name among the legends. He had gone from a local star to one of the best small forwards in the nation. For Kawhi, the court was his canvas and he was only beginning to paint. When he took the court as a freshman at San Diego State, it was clear that this player wasn't just there to blend in. He was there to make a statement. Posting a double-double with 12.7 points and nearly 10 boards per game, he was the Aztecs' unshakable anchor, leading them to an unforgettable season. Each game was a reminder of his raw talent, relentless focus, leading the team to an impressive 25-9 finish and a stunning Mountain West Conference tournament title. Despite losing by a hair in the first round of the NCAA tournament, his performance set a precedent and hinted at the potential power he's developing. The transformation in his sophomore year was undeniable. He turned into an all-around rebounding machine, pulling down 10.4 boards to go along with 15.7 points per game. He led San Diego State to a 34-3 record, captured another MWC title, and pushed them to the Sweet 16. The reigning champions may have cut their run short, but the mark he left on every game was impossible to ignore. All-America honors at the end of the season confirmed what fans already knew. This was no ordinary talent. And in 2020, San Diego State retired his number 15, a final tribute to the legacy he carved in silence. For a player who thrived on glamour, it was a fitting tribute to his ruthless, offbeat style and the legacy he has already built. When he first entered the NBA in 2011, this newcomer was an enigma. Scouts were impressed by his dedication and jaw-dropping athletic frame with his 6'7" height, 7'3" wingspan, and hands that span nearly 11 inches. His physical build alone made him a linebacker's worst nightmare, able to break through screens and get past blocks with quickness that belied his size. But for all his potential, there was an element to his game that seemed difficult to watch. He hadn't yet developed the polish to match his hustle. Comparisons to defensive legends were common at the time, but they were names that didn't inspire fear, and that's where things got interesting. Calm and fierce, this player was about to rewrite history on the field and showed that his path was not typical. Draft night changed the fortunes of Kawhi Leonard, a determined rookie who traded himself to the San Antonio Spurs after being selected 15th overall. Sent to Texas in exchange for a proven point guard, Kawhi was embraced by Greg Popovich, who saw a unique spark in the quiet teenager. He comes in early, he stays late, and he's like a sponge, Pop said, recognizing the drive that simmered beneath Kawhi's calm exterior. Under the disciplined system of the Spurs, Kawhi developed with patience and precision, gradually becoming one of the main two-way specialists in the league. In his rookie season, Kawhi quickly turned heads, receiving praise from teammates and coaches. Teaming up with Tiago Splitter, he earned a spot on Team Chuck for the Rising Stars Challenge, though injury sidelined him. But Kawhi's determination never wavered. The veteran starter stepped up with laser focus as he left the opener and cemented his spot as a rising star. He finished 4th in Rookie of the Year voting and earned a spot on the NBA's All-Rookie First Team, a clear signal to the league that he was here to stay. The following summer, Kawhi trained with some of the NBA's most legendary figures, learning directly from icons like Kobe Bryant and LeBron James. However, the Spurs underwent the most profound transformation in their organization. Popovich and the Spurs staff have entrusted him with critical responsibilities on both ends of the floor, a level of trust rarely afforded to young players. Through countless hours of drills, film sessions, and practice, Kawhi has learned the art of defense and has become a player who can shut down any opponent. He was also designed to be decisive on offense, make smart plays, hit clutch shots, and execute under pressure. By the time he reached the finals, Kawhi embodied the values of the Spurs: dedication, teamwork, and quiet determination. His performance earned him the Finals MVP, an award few expected but Kawhi worked tirelessly to achieve. In just a few short years, Kawhi Leonard has gone from an overlooked youngster to a cornerstone of the Spurs' legacy, a journey that is a testament to the power of patience, resilience, and the often soft-spoken belief that greatness. Then came the 2013 Finals against the Miami Heat. His stats exploded, averaging 14.6 points and 11.1 rebounds per game. Although they lost by a narrow margin, everyone watching began to see something fierce and calculated. By 2014, he had turned that raw potential into pure, unstoppable force. That year, he helped his team to a league-best 62-20 record and was named to the NBA's All-Defensive Second Team. Then came the 2014 Finals, a true display of his growth. Once again against the Heat, he was all over the field, scoring, defending, all with this uncanny composure. Game 3 saw him score a career-high 29 points. At the end of the series, his team won 4-1 and he won the Finals MVP award, averaging 17.8 points on 61% shooting. In an instant, he went from being just another defensive specialist to Finals MVP, and the transformation was just beginning. 2015, the year the beast within us truly began to roar. Despite some early bumps in the road, including a pesky eye infection that clouded his vision, this player was relentless. Once he hit his stride, he became a force of nature. Just imagine him dominating the court, dropping 26 points and grabbing 7 steals against Golden State. His incredible performance earned him the 2015 Defensive Player of the Year award and placed him in elite company as one of the few players to win both the Finals MVP and Defensive Player of the Year awards. But this was simply not a surprising situation. The 2015-16 season was a game changer. Signing a 5-year, $90 million contract with his team, he took things to a higher level. He showed off his offensive prowess by scoring a career-high 32 points against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and then lit it up with 7 3-pointers in a night against the Memphis Grizzlies. With elite offensive skills now in his toolkit, he earned his first All-Star selection as a starter for the Western Conference, putting his name alongside legends. And as if that wasn't enough, he won his 2nd consecutive Defensive Player of the Year award, making history as the first non-center since Dennis Rodman to do it back-to-back. Finishing 2nd to Stephen Curry in the MVP race cemented his status as one of the league's fiercest two-way threats. The following season, 2016-17, he took things to a new stratosphere. Opening night was nothing short of electric as he exploded for a career-high 35 points and 5 steals against the Golden State Warriors, marking a season of back-to-back 30-point games. He even topped that with a spectacular 38 points against the Phoenix Suns, becoming the first Spur since Tony Parker to score 3 straight 30-point games. His consistency was amazing, and by the end of the season, he had secured his second All-NBA first-team selection and third consecutive All-Defensive first-team honor. However, his playoff run in 2017 really showcased his resilience. An unfortunate collision with an opposing player in the Western Conference Finals aggravated an ankle injury that sidelined him for the rest of the series. But even from the outside, his presence seemed huge. Here was a player whose quiet intensity was as intimidating as his undeniable power. Every stat, every cheer from the crowd was a testament to a player already feared by everyone on the field. The NBA had created a two-way killer, and this player was just getting warmed up. Oh boy, 2017 or 18 was supposed to be a big season, but fate had other ideas. Expectations were very high, and then bam! A painful right quadriceps injury kept him out of the first 27 games. Talk about a frustrating wait. But when he finally took the field against Dallas in December, he brought his signature intensity, the kind of spark that fans of the defensive genius adore. As the excitement grew, a strain in his left shoulder sent him immediately back to the bench. It felt like a bad dream, and by January it was clear this player needed to take a step back to fully recover. But things turned a little sour when reports surfaced that he was seeking a second opinion on his recovery. Oh boy, the controversy. His absence until March sent shockwaves through the dressing room, leading to a raw and emotional meeting for the players alone, a desperate plea for his return. Still, he stood firm, prioritizing his health over a rushed comeback, leaving fans with a sinking feeling. Will they ever see him in that form again? For months, rumors swirled and tension continued until he finally requested a trade. Suddenly, he found himself in Toronto, thrust into the spotlight of a city hungry for its first taste of NBA Finals glory. Fans held their breath, unsure if Kawhi's health or his resolve could carry Toronto to the promised land. But instead of talking, he let his game do the talking. Right after the jump, he silenced the skeptics with a bang, debuting with a 24-point, 12-rebound performance. As the season progressed, he became the Raptors' silent killer, leading the way with a fierce determination that matched the city's desire to win. He produced delightful plays that would etch his name in the history books. And oh, the drama didn't stop during the regular season! When the playoffs ended, he was on fire, unleashing one of the most iconic playoff runs in NBA history. His 45-point outburst against the 76ers in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals set the stage, but it was his Game 7 buzzer beater that really got everyone talking. 4 heart-stopping jump shots before the ball finally landed. Within seconds, the silent killer was let loose with a thud as his teammates tackled him. Toronto was electric, and it showed no signs of slowing down. In the Eastern Conference Finals against Milwaukee, he turned in a comeback for the ages with dazzling performances, including a double overtime thriller in Game 3 and a jaw-dropping dunk over the Bucks' best defender. Then came Game 6, the masterpiece that sent the Raptors to their first NBA Finals. Now he was in uncharted territory and leading the team to its grandest stage. When the finals were over, he faced the Golden State Warriors. And boy, did he deliver. He secured his second Finals MVP, making history as the first player to win the honor with teams from both conferences. By the end of the season, he had scored an astounding 732 playoff points, third most in an NBA season. He left Toronto as a hero, the Raptors' quiet force becoming a legend, and cementing his status as one of the NBA's most dangerous two-way assassins. The journey had just begun. July 2019 has passed and it is time for the final homecoming. This time he wasn't just showing up to play, he was out to build a legacy in Los Angeles. In his debut, he lit up the Lakers by scoring a cool 30 points like it was nothing. A clear message that he was here to take the Clippers to the next level. That season was nothing short of epic, filled with epic battles, jaw-dropping performances, and plenty of moments that left fans wondering, what can't this guy do? When he faced his old team in Toronto, he was already the new face of the Clippers. When he walked onto the Raptors court that night, he received a standing ovation, a heartfelt thank you from fans who knew they were seeing greatness up close. The season didn't stop delivering. In December, he scored a wild 42 points against the Timberwolves, forming a power duo with his teammate that bewildered opponents. It was a Christmas Day game against the Lakers, and it was legendary. He dropped 35 points, grabbed 12 rebounds, and led the Clippers to a comeback victory during the celebration. The intensity didn't stop. He even had his first career triple-double against the Miami Heat, and by February, he'd won the All-Star MVP with a season hot enough to melt steel. Then when the energy was high, everything stopped. The pandemic put the season on ice, and he returned the same drive, earning all-bubble second-team honors en route to the NBA bubble. But the playoffs had their own plan. In a series against the Nuggets, the Clippers painfully lost their lead, fighting it out in Game 7, a rough end to an otherwise incredible season. However, he walked away with another All-NBA selection, a subtle nod to his undeniable consistency. Next season opener, another heater against the Lakers, he scored 26 points, but a facial injury meant it was time for a disguise in December. Even with the mask on, he scored 28 points shortly after before heading into the playoffs, where he had 45 points in Game 6 against the Mavericks. A knee injury against the Jazz cut his season short, but his resilience inspired his teammates to advance to the Western Conference Finals. And then came the comeback everyone was waiting for. October 3rd, 2022 was here, and anticipation was thick in the air. After what felt like an age on the sidelines, he bounced back with an easy 11 points in a preseason game against the Trail Blazers. With each game, he looked more and more like an unstoppable force, quickly silencing doubters. By the time the regular season ended, he had already returned to form, picking up where he left off as calm and calculated as before. The quiet force is back, and at every turn, he's shown why he's one of the most dangerous players to ever hit the court. As December rolled around, the stage was set for a classic showdown, and he kicked things off with a game-winning performance against Charlotte. But this was only the beginning. Against Boston, he lit up the field for 25 points, shooting a remarkable 10 of 12. It was as if every shot he fired had a purpose, and every move was calibrated to fire up the crowd. By January, the stakes had only risen. Against Dallas, he scored 33 points and shot 75% from the field. But against his old team, let's just say he scored a season-high 36 points, proving once again that he's always ready for the big stage. February arrived and brought more fireworks. On Valentine's Day, he sweetened the deal by tying a career high with 7 three-pointers and dropping 33 points on the reigning champs. Then, in what became an instant classic, he scored 44 points in a double overtime thriller against Sacramento, capping one of the highest scoring games in NBA history. It was a night that sealed his name in the record books and led his team to the playoffs with a decisive win over Phoenix after the season ended. But in true fashion, fate threw him a curveball. Game 1 of the playoffs saw him score 38 points, only to have his postseason cut short once again due to injury. Even with a torn meniscus, he made his mark in the series, averaging 34.5 points, 6.5 boards, and 6 dimes per game. The team felt the void, struggled without his presence, and was ultimately eliminated from the playoffs in 5. Then came the spark he's always famous for. On December 8th, 2023, he lit up the court with 41 points against Utah, hitting 14 of 23 with the same efficiency that sent fans into a frenzy. Just days later, he was at it again, scoring 36 points against New York on a 75% shooting clip. The front office noted signing him to a 3-year, $153 million extension, an acknowledgement of his vital role on the team. In January, he dazzled the crowd with his second career shutout against LA's rivals, but as the playoffs approached, a knee injury cut his time short, sidelining him after just 2 games and the team falling to Dallas. Now he is surprising fans after a busy summer with the national team has been ruled out indefinitely due to knee inflammation. All eyes are on his return, as Coach Lou called it a blow. Will he redefine unstoppable once again? Every game inches closer to a finale fans can only dream of as they watch in quiet anticipation. Known for his unique blend of raw talent and relentless drive, He has built a legacy of emboldening young athletes to tackle any challenge. There is a buzz every time he takes the field. How high will this silent powerhouse reach? For now, the excitement is unknown, but one thing is certain. The story is not over, and his next move could redefine the game.